welcome everybody to today's episode of Wisdom Cafe Live Meet the Expert. My name is, I believe, Dr. Bob Choat. I'm known as Transformational Grandmaster. And my beautiful co-host is Dr. Sofie Nubani, the queen of laughter and wisdom. Yes, all the way on the other side. I didn't mean to point to this guy. I meant on the other side of him. Yes.
Blessings.
Yes, when you're here on the West Coast and I'm supposed to be running this and I'm having technical issues, things are going to happen and so my beautiful co-host on the other side is going to have to probably take over here in a bit if necessary. So Sofie, how's it going there in Orlando? And I know that both you and our guest over on that side, and I'm all the way on the other side in this heat wave. So how's it going?
Yes, we should definitely send you some magical vibration from our magical Disney World entertainment.
Yeah, they have
Yes.
obviously extra staff to send over that way because
Extra staff. You see, you leave it to the executive leader here. He's always thinking team and staff. He's already gathered his people and his requests and letters, everything.
lots of extra pixie dust, by the way.
There you go.
There you go.
We can
there you
use
go.
some of that, right?
Yeah. So yeah, this is going to be interesting because we were just guests on his show recently, and here he is with his grace and his amazing self on our show. So you want to know something? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a formal introduction of this guy, okay? Because that way you guys will get to know him. MJ Tolan is superbly awesome. I mean, I have so much here. He's an inspirational speaker, executive coach. He's a podcast host. He's a founder of Mission I'm Possible, which is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, he's an advocate for leadership. He's a published author. I mean, this guy has been doing it all for so many years, not just in the United States, but around the world. I mean, I can just draw this kind of thing. So he's been all over everywhere, teaching and coaching and speaking and so much more. He's also a TEDx speaker as well. I mean, I've been trying to get on that stage for a while.
Big, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he has so much to offer. I mean, we're just going to bombard him with questions, especially the intellectual questions.
For $200.
That's on all the private consulting on the side.
Right, that was a Jeopardy question.
No, but the truth is that this guy has a PhD in life experience, so he can bring in that wisdom and so much more. And MJ, I'm so happy to have you here on our show. We want to extrapolate everything from that brain. Well, I don't think we'll be able to get everything from that brain because we only have a short period of time. We'll just we're going to get a snippet of MJ and his wisdom and so much more. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I mean, what an introduction. I just dropped by for dinner. I was waiting for the tabbouleh and the hummus. I thought, Dr. Nubani.
I love to.
I got to let us down here. Have a virtual smorgasbord, of nice cuisine.
Well, Coach MJ, on my behalf as well, I would like to welcome you and have our audience truly gain a lot of your wisdom and golden nuggets that you really share across the border. I am so excited to have you share with us airtime on Meet the Expert show today. And you're just such a dynamic personality, and the things that you're doing. And I love your creative mindset a lot. I know we have talked a few times here and there, and I respect a lot of your wisdom that you share. So I'm so happy and welcome to have you here.
Welcome.
And as soon as things are in the right area and format, we are bound to meet. We are both in Orlando. Yay!
Yeah, when the stars align, the fires calm down, and if Bob pays his air conditioning bill, we'll get a chance to meet. Yes.
See, Bob, there you go. It's on you right now.
You're in the show, Bob. You're in the show.
I'm going to have to pay. I'm going to pay the electric bill for the whole Western United States for the power issues that we're having here.
Okay, so
And the heat.
let's kick it off and ask our audience just to send some good vibes. Dr. Sofie Nubani will lead us in this intention. Let's send some good vibes.
Yes, it's always a good time to send good vibes, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I would start with the word chill and kind of work from there.
Bob, just start feeling chill right now, and imagine,
I mean, the whole
beautiful breeze of cold air touching your skin, and just feel it, and immerse in it, and see how every organ in your body is just gonna start relaxing and calming down. And we might even need to get you a blanket at one point, but it's okay. We're sure we're equipped with one already.
I've said at least I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt for this cold wave I'm having.
Yes. Well, you're setting an example, Marie.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, then, MJ, look what you started. Okay, you see, this is what you get with MJ Tolan. He is always enlightening while he is entertaining. And that has been his personality. He's full of life, full of charisma. If you've seen him speak on stage and more, he is the man that can really make things just so lively and uplifting. And we're gonna have to get on with picking on his brain while we have him available.
And by the way, one thing I didn't mention is that MJ, like me, we're fellow veterans. So I'm going to
thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Exactly.
Sir.
Thank you for your services.
Just do not repeat the last thing that my commanding officer said to me was our mantra: follow you into the fire, sir. Don't believe that.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh, some good old days right there, MJ.
Yes, sir.
Talking about that.
There are some good old days that are here and now.
Yes.
Here and now, exactly right.
Now, creative now.
Yeah.
Yes.
The now that
on the note of your life experience in that field, how do you feel that actually helped you in your mindset as we are facing a pandemic?
I think the military will help anyone to develop discipline that they don't have, because you just can't get that. That doesn't come naturally unless you're like an incredible athlete. You got coaching, but the military just really kicks it up a notch. It stays with you forever. It gives you a mindset, a can-do attitude, and when you can walk 25 miles with a 90-pound sack on your back, and you can do it uphill. And you can do that not just today, you can do it tomorrow, you can do it the next day, and then you can do more. Then you realize when you get out of that, you just need to push yourself. So it does help a lot, I think. So how do you think about that, Dr. Bob?
Absolutely. Starting from learning to get up really early in the morning when you're not used to doing that, and really just pushing yourself all throughout the day, every single day. And then when you're training for a mission, it even ramps up even more. So it's just an ongoing series of disciplines that do carry. In fact, I know that whenever something happens, whether it's a natural disaster or maybe a shooter out in public like that, it's typically the person that has a background in military that's going to respond in a way that is supposed to. They will get out there. They will be involved in those different things. Whereas the general public who doesn't have that experience and doesn't have that level of leadership that they had to go through that way, they will kind of like run away. It's like me. I tend to run towards gunfire. It just built into me. I will run towards even dealing with bullies. I tend to run all the way through that, and it kind of like I don't know about you, MJ, but I kind of get motivated by it, and it's not like I'm trying to be a hero or something. I think it's like built into me.
A warrior spirit.
Yeah, in a sense. So I will run to the action versus trying to run away from it.
Well, let's make one thing perfectly clear. I've had the privilege on the Mission Impossible show to interview some incredible warriors like yourself, Dr. Bob, who served the Marines admirably. You're a martial artist. I would feel sorry for anybody that ever had to try to stand in your way. And I've had the opportunity to meet with a person who won the Navy Star. I've had a person who was a commander in the Navy SEALs, another person on the Mission Impossible show. So I've had some great people on there, and I just felt so privileged to connect with people who had that path, because it does give you a pedigree in your own heart that you know that you've served the country. Hopefully you've served it well and honorably, and then whatever you do in your life, whatever you go in my own profession. When I started out as a kid in business, I brought my team together at 6:30 a.m. What was I doing with them at 6:30 a.m., Dr. Bob? What was I doing? Calisthenics. So we're doing calisthenics and getting them all pumped up, and then we'd have our meeting, and then we'd have our mantra, and we'd shout, and poor people in the hotel had no idea what was going on. They thought they were under attack. Just my marketing team getting ready to go to work and look for clients. But yeah, but that drove me, and you're right, it's a good thing. And the people who are serving now and continue to serve, they're serving a legacy. My grandfather served as a naval commander in World War II. My father served also. I hope that my son soon, when he comes back into this country after the pandemic allows him to do so, I'm hoping that he's going to enlist. So it's a big tradition in our family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, same here. My dad was with the Big Red 1 during number 2. And my grandfather was in the Marine Corps at the Battle of Belleau Wood in World War I.
So as we say under the hood, you guys go way back.
I go way back, except I did have an ancestor that, so this was the bad part. I had an ancestor that had served with Quantrill Raiders during the Civil War. They were the really bad guys. They were part of the South, where they did raids into Lawrence, Kansas, burned the town down, everything like that. And Jesse James and Frank James were part of that. The younger brothers were part of that, and my relative was part of that. But he ended up being captured. So,
well, we all cast our bread into the water, and now you're doing broadcasting. So
now I'm doing broadcasting. Yep. Now let's get with MJ, because you have spoke around the world, and I mentioned earlier that you're also a published author. You've helped executives out as an executive coach. You're really into leadership. So I want to know, in terms of MJ, because you've interviewed all these people as well, what is your own motto when it comes to both leadership and really getting out there and making a difference?
One word: serve. And then the other word is be first. So be first to set the example. Be first to show people how to go do something. Do not assume that everybody loves you just because you have a title, because titles are ridiculous. Titles are for people who are insecure and need to have that kind of authenticity, which really they must walk around feeling like a fraud if they're not serving.
Right.
If you want to, my best example of leadership is this. I've toured lots of different organizations throughout my career. I've had my own organization, so this is where a lot of this came from. And I've been to a lot of different countries. So if you don't speak the language of a country and you're sitting in a restaurant and you realize that maybe some people were there before you and you're hungry, but you kind of have to wait for the food a little bit. And then finally the waiter comes to you and you can't say a word. You point to their menu and you're kind of hoping that thing looks like maybe it says salad or there's a picture, even better, and you send it away. The last thing you want to do as a leader, and this is the metaphor I want to give you, is to shout at the waiter. The last thing you want to do is be disrespectful to the waiter, because you can be sure that the whole kitchen staff will conspire against your soup. So if you have the respect first, wherever you go, that you're respecting other people. I was recently interviewed and I quoted something that I wrote in my book. Now, I didn't write it in my book. I learned it. I earned it. I have scars, tattoos, and bruises to prove it because I made so many mistakes. I wasn't a born leader. I wasn't an officer in the military. None of this ever came to my mind, except I finally did learn that leadership is kind of like an ATM card, like a debit card, that you can't get anything out of the bank unless you have something in it. You can't expect people or demand people to respect you unless you're smart enough, wise enough, empathetic enough, real enough to understand that you need to give the respect in first. You need to put the money in the bank to get the respect. So if you're able to be first,
Yes.
then you have the right, not necessarily to call yourself a leader, but to behave in a leadership capacity, because leadership is nothing more than a set of behaviors, a set of practices, an adopted ethical way that you decide to carry yourself on that day to yourself.
Yep.
And then if anybody else follows you, well, fantastic. If you need them to, but maybe you need them to go different directions. Maybe you simply want to inspire them that, hey, you can fly also.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. You know, at our current times, you know, we hear about global issues such as, you know, poverty, electricity, water issues, and all that. And one of the things that were listed as a global crisis was decision making. And so, as a leader, how could others be more decisive, in your opinion, in leading their path, if they are an executive or a business owner or, you know, a solopreneur, entrepreneur, and so forth?
Fundamental basics of Dale Carnegie problem solving. Say, define the problem. And then what is the worst that could possibly happen? And then improve on the worst. Today, with so much uncertainty, and I kind of use this with some of the workshops I'm doing online as well. There's a great book Ken Blanchard did years ago. I think it was his book, Who Moved My Cheese, right?
Yes.
So we woke up and the boom, what's going on, right?
Yes.
I came to your show tonight. I said, where's my dinner? So I know that people, you know, they need to have a feeling that there's a certainty. And when they don't have that certainty, then the ugly part of life can sneak up on them, and it covers them. It's called fear. And to make a decision in a fear-based mindset is wrong, it's dangerous, and it's probably the worst thing they can do. And that's the number one reason why leaders today are having, if they are having a problem making the decision, they have to remove the fear part. because it's the fear that is polluting the whole equation, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually see that with a lot of leaders that tend to be reactive, correct?
And overreactive.
Overreactive.
Because they have that fear in them, and they don't want anybody to know how fearful they are, and they want to be controlling, and so you feel their energy going across the room and over dramatizing a particular issue. You see it sometimes even on television with, I don't know, let's call it discussions that politicians have with each other.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been a challenging time, and what I noticed that, especially in this country, that there's been a lack of leadership all the way around. So it's not just one side or the other, but it seems to be all the way around. And I'm not going to get into blaming anybody, which a lot of people who are not leaders, but they say they're a leader, they may have a title of a leader, and then they'll go and blame others. You mentioned earlier about the leader should be a servant to serve others, including those that they lead.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest eurekas I ever got as a young CEO, was that I had been a CEO for a number of years, and I had been tried to be authoritative or controlling. I did everything, that I was taught or that I thought. So from Jackie Gleason to kick the can, who parked in my spot, make the office feel afraid. Oh, he's here. If I see people doing that now, I go, oh, there I go when I was 24.
Yes.
And, I confessed on somebody's show, I said, from the age of 24 to 29, when I was, I was directing projects and doing international business, and I had hundreds of employees in different places. I was the number one, self-confessed, and I'm sorry, but I was the number one client for the florist, because I was constantly having to apologize to some poor secretary that I didn't even consider, because I was so mission focused on what I needed to do. I didn't even think about somebody else's feelings in the room. And that really happened. So that's when I went, the day that it really happened to me, and I kind of went, what a cool job I have. I get to think about stuff tonight that when tomorrow morning I'm going to find a way to make everybody's life better. I'm going to find a way to give them 10 more reasons to produce and to want to work with this company. I'm going to introduce education programs. And I have that privilege to do that. I'm a cheerleader. That's what I am. And if I'm just the best, if I become the chief inspirational officer, then I've really cracked it. So
yes,
beautiful.
That's what it should be. And whoever does it differently, God bless them. If it's working for them, more power to you.
Yeah, which is so true, because I can go into different businesses and I can evaluate the type of leadership that they have simply by looking at the line employees, how the line employees behave towards their customers. If the line employees, if they're really serving their customers and they're really happy doing it, then I know that the leadership is serving them. And then if I see the opposite, if I see all these complaining and all this kind of stuff, I know that the leadership above is just the opposite of a servant leadership. And like you described earlier, they tend to be very authoritative, should I say, and which is the opposite of a good leader. So I love everything that you said.
And exercising their powers.
Controlling. Yes.
And yet here we go, we started today this conversation with military background. So when you're in the military,
sorry guys, I didn't mean to get it going that
way.
But
when you're in the military, there's not really that much choice. All due respect, Dr. Bob, there's not too much choice. It's authoritative leadership.
Correct.
An officer gives you this, that's what you do. You don't question it, you do it, and that's the way it is. When you remove that in a business setting or in any kind of a relationship setting, you can't really, go home say to your loved ones, well, I've decided according to Article 12, Section 15, that couch needs to be removed by 0600 in the morning. and then you ask the silly question, what time is dinner? Well, forget it.
That's
we
so
have
true.
to learn how to, the great word is cooperate. It's cooperate. Yep. We're operating together with people. And I remember doing an article once where I was trying to explain, what great leadership would really be, because it's been a passionate topic for me for years, and that's why I wrote Executive Powers, which is, some of the mistakes I've made in leadership and some of the recoveries I've made, So I had this vision that there was an airplane, nobody was killed, but it did crash on a desert island. And so the CEO had his wallet there with all of his platinum cards and gold cards and loyalty cards and, pass to the NFL and the NBA games, had all that stuff in his wallet, but it went underwater. So he didn't have that. He's now alone and all the supplies are gone. He's on the beach alone. So he's a castaway. And then he sees some people hundreds of yards away. He can recognize that they're people, but he can't see if they're friendly or not. They were not on board with him. So now how is he to approach them? I ask your audience, what would be the best way to approach those people? Should he go up there and let them know how important he is? Should he tell them how much money he has in the bank? Should he tell them how many years he's been with the company? Should he go and tell them how hard he worked for his position? Or should he show genuine interest in them first?
Absolutely. The last one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cooperate or be eaten.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And which is a very important distinction that you bring that up, because I've noticed in businesses, particularly in a Western world, cooperation has not really been there as much as developing a win-lose kind of mentality. So instead of cooperating, they go and they want to, I'm going to be the winner. Everybody else is going to lose, and I'm going to end up on top because it's all about me. Things like that, and that's typically been a way. We go back into the 20th century and going way back. There's been winners and losers kind of mentality. How do we go about shifting that and get to more of a cooperation?
Well, great question. I think it's going to be generational. We're better today than we were 40 years ago, and we know when my grandfather was. We're so much better in leadership, and there are more women leaders than ever before, and that was.
Do you think that's why is it getting better?
I think. I mean, I know someone who has written an incredible book, Optimize Your Creative Mindset. And they can test how the yin and yang is, and it is really important.
Oh, bless your heart. Bless your heart. Thank you.
Yeah, I fully agree.
I got nothing to do with it. It's the yin or the yang. So yeah, I think that today things are definitely moving in the right direction. But what you just said, yeah, how do if you look at major corporations have a P&L statement, they have a bottom line, they have a quarterly target, and they either hit it or they don't. So then they have this trickle down reward system. Who's going to be vested with stock? Who's going to hit bonus? Who's not? And then they have this other treacherous, almost piranha kind of mentality that they would rather eat future leaders than give them credit for something that they would more apt to be taking credit for somebody else's idea because they need to hit bonus because of the pressure they're under. It's the system, and that's very, very hard to break. The only way to break a system like that is there's in the Red Sea, there's a famous fish called a hamur. This is one of the most delicious fish that you'll ever find.
It really is.
In that area. And they say that if there's a fisherman who has caught something and left it on the beach, and if you smell an aroma, they know that it's a fish because it always smells from the head. So if there's an organizational problem, it's the leader, it's the top of the company. When the very top of the company says, I will not tolerate an organizational behavior in our company that does not respect diversity. I will not tolerate people within my organization that will not respect inclusion. I will not tolerate, and so it's that tolerance. And so we have to learn to be more tolerant as leaders, and so that we can set the example. Remember what I said before. You have to be first.
Uh-huh.
You have to take
Absolutely.
a courageous mantle and make a decision. And a decision is kind of like bacon and eggs. You had bacon and eggs, Bob? Yeah. So there's two parties in bacon and eggs. In case you haven't heard this, there's two parties in bacon and eggs. So one of them is a chicken, and they're really good because they participate. But the pig, he's committed. And so a leader has to be the pig. You have to make a commitment, and there's no turning back. It's a burn your boats moment. We have decided we're going to do this.
It's funny because you just almost answered the question I was going to ask, because you mentioned when I asked about decision making that fear inhibits a lot of people not to be able to make the best decisions as a foundation. Now, I was going to ask, what are some ways to build resilience so that those people can be more courageous as leaders, so they can feel more confident in taking action towards making good and better decisions?
Well,
how would they build their resilience?
I think that's where they would turn to you, and that's where they would turn to Dr. Bob, because you guys are the experts. You know what I believe is that there is the cousin of fear is doubt, and these two entities can corrupt someone's confidence. And when the confidence is corrupted, then people are going not to feel that much empowered. And the only way to get back to that confidence and that empowerment is to get back into self, to meditate, to go within, to begin to rebuild affirmations and focus on what outcomes you really do want, and not focus on what you don't want, and be able to reattract the vibrations that have clouded your judgment or clouded your vision or perspective because you think that you can't do something because of. Now listen, pandemic is very tricky. I mean, it feels like we're all in a pinball machine and we're the ball, right? And somebody else is doing the clapping. So we're all over the place. You know, there are deaths happening. That's not a joke. That's nothing to laugh about.
True.
And that you can't say, well, you know, the real coach MJ said, you know, don't be afraid. I didn't say don't be afraid, but don't be afraid of something that you can't control. If you can control something, that's what I'm talking about. So you can control your attitude, how you decide to be responsible, how you decide to be a leader, how you can inspire others to wear a mask, to practice safe distancing, to get on with their jobs, to work remotely. I'm doing so much work. I have this new project, which I think Dr. Nubani knows about. The webinar safari, which we're doing virtual presentations for people and helping them.
Love it. Yes.
Sales system to do it virtually. So, but other than that, you know, there are a lot of people who are feeling very paralyzed, and I know that the shows that you run and the books that you've written and the projects that you're working on, I mean, you guys are the answer. You know, the word besides coffee is wisdom. And that's what people need to gravitate to get that wisdom, and to get it from collective people who have devoted their time, energy, education, and their devotion to those topics so that they can guide them, because we need guides right now. Me too.
Yes, we all do. And the truth is, the minute any mentor or leader feels that they don't need one, is when they had thought that they reached their plateau. And since we continuously grow, we are never at that one point, because we are going to continuously go and grow more. So to reach our best potential, we need to be challenged ourselves so that we can even do better and pass it forward, and somebody else passes it forward to us, and so forth. So I really admire your genuine leadership and your servant leadership. The truth is, just knowing you for the few months, I would say, you can tell instantly from the very beginning of our conversation, your energy is so vibrant, which is very important and needed at this time and day, because people have either lost hope, and like you mentioned, very fearful, they're very doubtful, and they almost want someone to lead them. They don't want to think because they're so exhausted, they're tired. And sometimes some people really want a break from it all. And they either go into depression, or they go into not being, they feel stagnant. And it's time for those who have their strength and their confidence and their visions to step up and be there, and lend a hand. And just all of us united, we can really make the bigger impact together than we would individually. And I admire that about you, Coach MJ, because you walk your talk, and you really practice what you preach, and you lead by your good example. And I have so much respect for that kind of leadership. And I pray and hope that everyone listening who is in positions like that, who have the authority and to demand and have a voice to give to others, that they would walk into their authentic integrity and leadership, and just learn and seek advice from people like Coach MJ, and what he's doing, and his counseling, and his work. I mean, he's just looking at what you've done. You've helped so many organizations and people within organizations and teams. And that speaks volume, because you are not just, suggesting stuff. You strategized, you planned, you worked, you experienced, and you got results. So that is really, really important. So if you're an organization, and definitely, we get you to meet the expert in their field. And MJ, you are that. And we are so, so, so happy and blessed to have you share your wisdom with us and your presence with everyone, so that also they can reach out and connect with you further. I know that I'm connected with you on LinkedIn as well, and I keep up with your stuff, and you have a huge following, and very much. And I'm glad that a lot of people are seeking all of your articles and advice and posts, because it's what we need. We really need to step it up. And those who are doing it are really helping many. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be recognized like that. I do appreciate it. It's a little bit embarrassing because you've kind of gone over the top. But
You're so humble. You're so humble.
it's not easy being me, but I have to do it. So
no, you are the epitome of a leader, and I would liken you to. I think about the leader of the band, and I think about like the movie. What was it? 76 Trombones. Dick Van Dyke led the big parade. If you remember that. This is back in the.
I was so worried you were going to say Liberace and ask me to change my jacket, but
no, but you're kind of like you're fun. You got this energy, and you continue to lead from the front, and on top of that, you're serving those that you're leading as well, which which I think that is what we should all espouse to be
With a
as
big sense
leaders.
of humor, people. Let me tell
Yes.
you, that's what I love. Leading with sense of humor, intelligence, and humor are very attractive in a leadership organization.
Okay,
Truly.
now we're actually coming down towards the end here, but I want to get out of you, MJ, and this is for the audience, and this is for the people that's going to bring you in, because you have a lot of this wisdom. But I just want just 3 tips or ideas that people can put into practice that's going to help them as that leader, as that CEO, or whatever they're leading, to help them to become better.
Okay, so my first, you want 3 suggestions? That here they are. You get up in the morning, you've got some guests in your house. They're from Italy. You're from Georgia. Do you think they want pig liver for breakfast or something with an Italian sauce? So you need to find out what people are hungry for, and then find a way to serve them that. And, do it in a way where it might be more hygienic, do it in a way where it's going to be more aesthetic. You put your own style into it, but think about what they really want, because if you can do that, then it's going to give you a pathway to help them on the road to get what you want them. So that's number 1. Number 2, whatever you think you can't do, reevaluate it. Because if you think COVID is stopping you from what you wanted to do, a few months ago, as a speaker, I wasn't being able to have audiences. So, gosh, well, and then you go, well, it's COVID. Oh, well. Well, when you have been most of your life overcoming objections and obstacles, and you just can't take that for granted, and you can't take the answer. So find a way. Whatever you think is stopping you, find a way. I'm using virtual solutions now. It might not be the perfect solution, but it's a way. And you might have another way. So whatever you can do to find a way, it's worth it to find a way. By you doing that and getting your people to brainstorm and to be part of that and to have some buy-in into it, I promise you that you'll grow in this period instead of shrink. I promise you that you won't have fear. You'll have inspiration and you'll have courageousness. And the third thing that I would suggest anybody do that they're in business today is take an opportunity to rethink how you're packaging your business before. What was the part of your business that you really didn't like? Was it the lifting the heavy weight of having merchandise or stock? Or what was it about your business that was giving you a pain point? Rethink about it. Has the pandemic given you a new way to perhaps distribute your products or services? Or have you looked at a possible blue ocean opportunity where there aren't that many competitors taking their products to Lithuania, for example? Did you, Bob, today? No. So there are other markets. There are other ways to put out digitally your products and services. So don't think that just simply because the way things we're doing have been disrupted, that life is not going on. We all need to look at things differently. We all have to think out of this proverbial box, which you can smash it into a flat surfboard and get right through this.
There you go.
Very nice. I love it.
Yes. So, yeah, I just I just want to thank you. I mean, I know that, Sophie, you probably want to ask him one last question, but I want you, MJ, to think about how people can get a hold of you. But Sophie's going to ask you the question first, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you had a billboard that you wanted to leave one message to the world that would help them today, what would that be?
Well, this is where my philanthropic attitude stops and my business takes over. Because you said this is the end of the show and I have one message and I want to leave it. So the message I'm going to have is The Real Mission Impossible Show podcast will be released at the end of October. Tune in and turn on. That's my advice.
Look at you.
There you go.
Segway.
So if people want to
That
get
is
a hold,
exciting.
that is
Yes.
exciting. So people need to tune into that. Now, if MJ, people want to hire you as that executive coach, as a leadership trainer, as a speaker, or whatever else that people are going to like grab MJ and bring him in, how would they
Submit
be?
their hero stories to your
Or
podcast.
yeah, that as well. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
MJontheair.com. That's my virtual speaking nickname now. Of course, some people are trying to copy that, so that's why we're going now for the real Coach MJ. I mean, can you believe you walk into a bar and there's like 3 or 4 MJs trying to pretend they're MJ? So that's why I'm like,
I can only imagine. How could there be 2 MJs like you?
right.
Yeah.
So, that's why we have the real Coach MJ.
Impossible.
I'm possible. I'm possible.
Yes.
So,
And by the way,
MJ.com is one, and then our commercial business is webinarsafari.com.
I love it.
Webinar Safari. That's awesome.
That's to do award events, leadership meetings. We help, we guide, we steer. Companies can do virtual events all by themselves. They don't need us. We have some secret sauce, which we're able to pour onto it. And, of course, we offer hosting and a little bit more fun and entertainment, edutainment at the same time. So thank you.
Amen to that. That sounds exciting and fun and needed. Well, we're looking forward to partying online.
Yes, we are.
That sounds like a good name for a new website. Yeah, I like it.
And by the way, MJ on the Air is down in the description. Check it out. Go and you can find out more about this awesome guy right here.
Yes.
And and again, his Mission Impossible is coming out at the end of this month, probably before or around Halloween, which will be around close to the blue moon. And by the way, a week from this Saturday, Dr. Sofie and I are having our very first. This is a 3-hour class on the introduction to neuro linguistic programming. So we're going to be teaching that. Yes. So get in contact with Sofie or myself, and we'll be happy to give you the details.
And we'll all meet at Webinar Safari and have a party there.
There you go.
We might have our classes just there.
Well, so we're planning on dressing up as a giraffe for Halloween, but there you go. Just to help people understand that if you really want to get through this, you have to stick your neck out, right?
You guys are so funny.
I cannot wait to meet this guy in person.
A laughter mindset here. See, this is why when you have a leader that has a sense of humor, you work, you do your task, and you get out of the rut more in such more fun ways. You don't have to get your high blood pressure go up trying to figure things out. When you have the right strategies and the right help, the right mentors, the right leaders guiding you through what you need, you are going to transcend your obstacles and challenges much, much better. And you know what? Building those kind of relationships itself is going to raise your dopamine levels naturally, and it's going to make you feel, while you're doing and going towards your solutions, more at ease, at joy. And in fact, you'll be like, wow, this was really tough, but what a blessing. I got to work with MJ. This is amazing. I got to laugh while I'm getting disciplined and while I'm getting my plans going and so forth. So those things are really important, and they are deeper than what you are thinking. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to struggle alone. You don't have to be in that corner alone. Reach out to the right help. And we are really trying to connect you with experts of their time in different areas of life. And this is a platform that we encourage you to reach out, go to the website, check the things that could be appealing to you, needing for what you're going through most, and get the help you need. Coach MJ, I can't thank you enough myself as well. I know Dr. Bob just said that. We're going to keep saying that. And then we're going to have another show just to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to have you back on. So that's going to be awesome. Need more of MJ. Need more of MJ.
Attitude of gratitude. Thank you very much.
Well, what you guys don't know, he also knows how to really, really have different accents. He's very, very smart, intelligent, and he's a natural, person that can improv immediately on anything that is needed upon the situation.
Yeah, truly. I think we even mentioned it on a show that this guy right here, he should have been in Second City. He should have been in Second City.
Yes.
I'm serious.
Yes. Well, he is.
Welcome to the improv, MJ's improv.
He's creating his own city. He already did webinar safari traveling
for the
around.
First one. So I don't even know what is the second one. I've been looking for the first city.
Hey, Saturday Night Live, check them out.
There you go. There you go. Oh wow, this has been awesome. Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, MJ.
I appreciate it. It's been an honor to be with you.
Yes.
It's great to be in this forum. I love how you've done my name here on the screen. To me, I mean, I'm
You're the real coach.
And then
you're the real coach. See?
It has to be the MJ.
Sofie Nubani, and all I have is the real coach. The real coach MJ.
The real. See that? See, it says the real coach right there. See
not your everyday coach. No, just
the real coach. This guy is the real coach. Get it?
Amen, amen, and blessings. yes, absolutely.
Okay, everybody. I just want to bless everybody out there thank you for tuning in. And catch the replay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blessings.
And by the way, don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.